Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my highly anticipated League 2 table predictions for the 2023-24 campaign. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 200 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below who makes your top 7, who makes your top 3, and who will make your bottom 2 and be relegated down into the National League. Now, I normally like to get my predictions out before the season starts, but because of the amount of content I've been bringing you guys, I simply did not have the time. I was doing more individual breakdowns for certain teams. I wanted to do more for the final 3 playoff spot teams, but if I was to do that, my table predictions then wouldn't have come out until near the end of August, and by then they just wouldn't have been as relevant. So they're coming out today, and obviously you will disagree. If you do, get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below, I'm sure. But come the end of the season, when we come to react to this, I'll probably have egg on my face and I'll look very, very stupid. But make sure to drop a like on there for me. Subscribe if you're new as well. And let's get into it. In at 24th place, I have gone with Crawley Town. Now, it might come probably not as a little bit of a surprise, to be honest. Pretty much everyone seems to have predicted Crawley to finish bottom. Now, I'm a Bradford City fan. Obviously, Crawley beat us 1-0 on the opening day, but they were very bad. We were just somehow even worse. I'm still really concerned about Crawley. Their off-the-field issues really look like they are translating on the pitch, especially towards the back end of last year. Obviously, they started out the season very well, beating one of the promotion favourites, although a lot of Bradford fans didn't really see it that way. Their recruitment has been poor, to be honest with you. You know, I like the signing of Adam Campbell from Gateshead. Will Wright as well from Gillingham, who obviously scored the goal against my team, Bradford City. But apart from that, none of their signings really stand out all too much. You know, a lot of their recruitment coming up from non-league. And while I like to see teams dipping into that non-league market, you still need some League 2 experience, and they don't really have that. Danilo Orsi, not a proven goal scorer. Ade Adeyemyo's coming in from step 4 of non-league. That's a big step up for him. Sonny Fish, fairly unproven, 19 years of age. Liam Kelly struggled at Rochdale, and that's going with a squad who was losing so much experience. You look at their side, it's just, there's not much experience in that team whatsoever. Yes, you've got players like Ben Gladwin, Anthony Grant, Joe Lynch and Dion Conroy, but apart from that, there's not really too much in there. Can Dom Telford finally get back to his goal-scoring form from a couple seasons ago? I'm not really too sure, but as of right now, 24th place, I'm going with Crawley Town. In at 23rd then, and my other team to be relegated, I have gone with Crewe Alexandra. Now, I've not really seen too many people put Crewe down there, but I'm really concerned about Crewe, to be honest. I don't really rate their manager. Obviously, they lost Dan Adjei in the summer, which is a massive blow for them. I think he got, 21 goal contributions last season. I think it was 16 goals and 5 assists. He's moved on to Leyton Orient, and I really do worry now about this Crewe side. I think they are going to struggle this season. I look at their team, and there's such a lack of goals in there. Chris Long, very injury prone. I think Courtney Baker-Richardson's injured at the moment. Elliot never really proved it at League 2. Their midfield's not too bad, but they just really do lack a goal scorer this season. They massively struggled last year, and to remove someone of Dan Adjei's quality and not replace him, I think that really does concern me, and I might look stupid come the end of the season, but as of right now, I'm going with Crewe Alexandra to be relegated. Their recruitment hasn't exactly set the world on fire. I like the signing of Mickey Demetriou from Newport County, but he is 33 now. Apart from that, none of their recruitment is really too impressive. Ryan Cooney's not a bad option, but yeah, I can't really say I'm all too impressed, and I do think Crewe will be relegated this season in 23rd. Channel memberships are now cheaper than ever, with Tier 1 costing just 99p. Tier 2 has been reduced from $3.99 a month down to $1.99 a month, and Tier 3 has been reduced from $8.99 a month down to just $4.99 a month. Your support, as always, is massively appreciated, and the more members that we have, the better the content will be. Enjoy the rest of the video. In at 22nd then, and just avoiding the drop, I have gone with Morecambe. Now, they were relegated last season from League 1. They've got major off-the-field issues at the moment. They've had a massive turnover of players, losing a lot of their key players to their success, getting promoted from League 2, then staying up in that first season. They've had a massive turnover, and I think this season they'll just about have enough to avoid relegation. They started out the season pretty well with a 2-1 win against Walsall, and obviously scored quite a late goal in that one. I obviously like the signing of Jan Songo. I was disappointed to see him leave Bradford City, especially when we have replaced him with Ash Taylor, but he knows Derek Adams very well. Some of their other signings, I can't say I'm too impressed by it, to be honest. You know, they've added some good experience in there, but overall, I think they'll just about have enough to stay up. I look at the rest of their squad. I mean, there's very few players who were there last season who are still there now. Joel Senior from Carlisle, I quite like that signing, to be honest. Ferran Rawson as well, experienced centre-half still in there, but as of right now, I'm going to go with Morecambe FC to finish in 22nd. In at 21st, then, I have gone with Newport County. Now, a lot of people seem to think Newport will be relegated this season. I don't think they'll quite be that bad, to be honest. I like the signings of McLaughlin and Delaney from Salford and Morecambe respectively. Obviously, they did lose Cameron Norman and was it Aaron Lewis to obviously MK Dons and Mansfield respectively. They are two big losses, but their squad overall is not that bad, to be honest. Omar Bogle's one of the top goal scorers in the league last season. Aaron Wildig's not a bad player. Harry Charlesley, he's not a bad player whatsoever. I know he didn't really hit the heights last season, but I like what I saw from him at Port Vale. Kyle Jameson's an interesting signing. Declan Drysdale, I don't think he's a bad at centre-half, and obviously they've managed to keep hold of Nick Townsend in between the sticks as well. I think they'll have just about enough to stay up this season, and I think Newport County will finish in 21st. In at 20th place, then, I have gone with Forest Green Rovers. Again, a team that were relegated from League One last season. They've lost a hell of a lot of their players. To be honest, Ben Stevenson going to Portsmouth, Luke McGee going to Tranmere, just to name a few. And their squad that they had, that they built together to win that League Two title a couple of seasons ago, it's been completely ripped apart. The only real player from that time is Matthew Stevens. I mean, I look at the rest of their squad, there's no real standouts who are still there. Matthew Stevens hasn't really hit them goal-scoring heights that he did a couple seasons ago. Their recruitment so far has not been bad. I really like the signing of Matty Taylor from Oxford United. Yes, he's getting on a little bit, but I still think he scores goals at this level. Ryan Innes struggled, got really bad discipline issues at Charlton Athletic, but I don't think he's a bad signing whatsoever. They brought in Jacob Maddox as well from Walsall, who is, a little bit meh for me. Daniel Johnson coming in from Fleetwood, I think that's a pretty decent signing, but overall I don't think Forest Green will be in too many problems with relegation, but I don't think they'll be anywhere near good enough to get higher up in the table. I'm going to go with Forest Green Rovers to finish in 20th. In at 19th place, I have gone with Harrogate Town. Now, obviously the loss of Alex Patterson to my team Bradford City is a pretty significant one, and also Luke Armstrong refusing to play for Harrogate so he can try and force a move out of the club. I think that is going to be a massive loss for them in my opinion, but they're keeping a hold of some really nice core in that squad. I think they've built up a nice spine. They've got back Matty Folds as well from Bradford City on a permanent basis. Abraham Odo's come in for an undisclosed fee from Rochdale. Again, I think that's a pretty decent signing. Rob McDonald brings in some experience at centre-half. Liam Gibson, good option at left-back. Matty Daly did very well for them last season. And I think if they can spend this Luke Armstrong money correctly, they obviously need to get a good fee in for him. But I think if they can spend it correctly, get a striker replacement in for him, I don't think it would be a bad piece of business. Obviously, it will be a big loss and they won't be able to replace him like for like. But I think Harrogate will have more than enough this season to stay up, in my opinion, and they might even potentially push on into the bottom half of the top half. No, the top part of the bottom half. That's what I mean. The top half of the bottom half, but I don't think there'll be any relegation troubles this season. I think Harrogate Town will finish in 19th place. In at 18th place, I have gone with Colchester United. Now, they've not really done too much business so far this summer. Brought in a couple of loan players, like the signing of Joe Taylor on loan from Luton Town. Elise Andolo's come in as a left-back option from Swindon Town, I believe, for an undisclosed fee, but they did a decent amount of business in the January transfer window, and I think, again, they'll have more than enough to stay up this season. Connor Hall, I don't mind him as a centre-back. I think he is a pretty decent option. It depends what they can do with Junior Tishamedu. If they lose him, can they reinvest that money rightly? Arthur Reed's not a bad central midfield option. Noah Chilvers is a very good player at this level. Matt Jay, can he rekindle some of his form from a couple seasons ago with Exeter? Alex Newby's not a bad player. Joe Taylor, like what I mentioned earlier. Tom Hopper, John Akinde. Like, they've got some good players in there. And again, I don't think Colchester will be in any real trouble for relegation this season, but I don't think they'll have enough to push on any higher. So I'm going to go with an 18th place finish for Colchester United. In at 17th place, then, I have gone with Walsall FC. Now, again, a lot of people seem to think they'll finish much higher than that, but I just don't really see it. I can't say I'm overly impressed with their recruitment so far. Now, obviously, getting Danny Johnson back is a big statement signing for Walsall. He did well with them in the first half of last season. I don't mind the signing of Chris Hussey, despite him being 34. I think he's a decent player at this level. Ryan Stirk, again, on a free transfer. He's not a bad option. Douglas James Taylor coming in on a free transfer from Stoke. Again, don't think that's a too bad of an option, but I'll just look at the core of their squad. They struggled for goals last season, especially in that second half, and I'm I'm not sure if Danny Johnson's going to be able to get that goal scoring form back under a different manager. Worked very well under Flynn. Will it work under Sadler at the Saddlers? Donovan Daniels, they've managed to tie him down to a new contract. I think that is a very nice piece of business. They lost Manny Monte though. That is a big loss for them. Tom Knowles and Isaac Hutchinson are two decent forward players at this level. Ote, like what I say, don't mind him as a signing. Jamil Matt, again, scored goals previously for Forest Green at this level. If it clicks at Walsall, they can do a decent job this season, but I just can't really see it working out, so I'm going to go with a 17th place finish for Walsall. In at 16th place then, I have gone with Accrington Stanley. Now again, it was a really poor season for them last year, getting relegated from League One, but their squad's not too bad. They've got a lot of experience in there. They've recruited pretty well, you know, bringing in Josh Andrews from Birmingham's under-21s on a loan deal. I think that's a pretty decent signing. 6'5", 6'6", causes a lot of problems in the box. We played Accrington on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup, and while it was for the large part their second team, I thought they did pretty well, to be honest. You know, they're going to make the WAM Stadium a very compact ground. It's very tight. The fans are on top of the pitch, and while their football isn't pretty at times, you know, they're going to be very physical, going to be very aggressive. It's pretty effective at this level. You know, John Coleman knows what he's doing at League 2 level. They do still have some quality in their side though. Sean Whalley and what's the other winger called? Is it Sean McConville? I think, yeah, Sean McConville. Two very good players at this level, despite them both being, you know, 34, 35, 36 years of age, whatever they may be. I don't think they're bad options at this level. Tommy Lee as well had a good season last year, was pretty poor on Tuesday night, to be honest, but he is clearly a very good player at just 23 years of age. I think they've got the experience mixed in with the youth, and I think it will just be a season of stabilisation this year for Accrington, and I'm going to go with a 16th place finish. In at 15th place then, I have gone with AFC Wimbledon. Now, they've recruited a hell of a lot of players this summer. They've been one of the most active teams in this league, and they've made some good signings, but I feel like a lot of them are more stocking fillers rather than real quality. I like the signing of James Tilley from Crawley Town for an undisclosed fee. They brought back Jake Reeves as well from Stevenage, 30 years of age now, but he's going to come in and be their captain. Omar Bougiel, I'm not really too sure how you pronounce it, on a free transfer from Sutton. I like that sign. I think he is a really underrated player, in my opinion. Apart from that, I don't really look at too much quality in their side. Alex Bass has come in on loan from Sunderland. He's very hit and miss. He either has a really good game or makes some massive errors and has a real stinker, but so far he has done pretty well at AFC Wimbledon, and I can't really say I'm a big fan of Johnny Jackson as a manager. I think he's going to hold them back a little bit, but their recruitment hasn't exactly wowed me so far, so I'm going to go with a 15th place finish for AFC Wimbledon. In at 14th place, I have gone with Swindon Town. Now, I look at my prediction, I think anyone really from 17th upwards could have an outside chance of the playoffs. Swindon's recruitment so far has been very cheap. To me, I think that's still certainly the way that it comes across. I really like the signing of Dan Kemp on loan from MK Dons. Udoka Godwin Malife on an undisclosed fee from Forest Green Rovers. I think that's a really, really good signing in my opinion. Liam Kinsella knows Michael Flynn very well on a free transfer. I think that one is a pretty solid signing in my opinion. Jake Young has also gone in on loan from my team Bradford City. I think if you can get Young fit and firing, I think he is a decent player at this level. Obviously, they've already got quality in their side with the likes of Charlie Austin, Saidu Khan as well in that midfield. I'm a big fan of him. I thought he was very impressive when we played Swindon a couple months ago back, I think it was in April, but I can't really see Swindon progressing any higher, not because they're bad. I just think there's going to be better teams than them this season. Obviously, the transfer window is still open, it's still active and all that sort of stuff, but as of right now, I just can't see a world in which Swindon get any higher than 14th place. In at 13th place, I have gone with Sutton United. Now, I've been very impressed so far with their recruitment, but obviously they have lost a couple big hitters, not really big hitters, but some of their better players this transfer window, losing Will Randall on a free transfer to Notts County, Alistair Smith as well, gone to Leicester City, Lincoln City on a free transfer. I do think that is two big losses for them, but their recruitment has been very good in my opinion. Bringing in Craig Clay and Harry Smith on two free transfers from Leyton Orient, I think they're two very smart signings. Amari Patrick as well comes in on a free transfer from Carlisle. He'll be looking to actually play on the wing rather than as a second striker. Aidan O'Brien comes in on loan from Shrewsbury. I do think some of their recruitment so far has been pretty impressive in my opinion. They've also brought in Christian Nguyen. I apologise if I have pronounced his name wrong, on a free transfer from Ebbsfleet. Again, I think that one is a pretty smart pickup in my opinion. While their squad overall hasn't got that much quality in it, I think they'll have more than enough this season to push on. I think they'll probably be in with a shout of the playoffs, and then like what they've done the last couple of seasons, fall off in them final 6 to 8 matches, and I think Sutton United will finish in 13th place. Before we go any further though with today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Get a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. and let's get into my top half. In at 12th position then, I have gone with Tranmere Rovers. Now, their recruitment so far has been pretty limited, but the signings that they've brought in are really impressive in my opinion. They brought in Jake Leake on a loan deal from Hull City. Christian Dennis comes in on a free transfer from Carlisle United. Again, one of the top goal scorers in the league last season. Luke Norris has scored goals previous at this level. They brought back Regan Hendry as well from Forest Green, this time on a permanent basis. Luke McGee also comes in on a one-year deal, I believe, from Forest Green Rovers. Connor Jennings has also returned to the football club. Like, their business has been pretty smart. Yes, they've lost Josh Dacres-Cogley to Bolton, which is a pretty significant loss to them, in my opinion. And they also lost Ethan Bristow to Minnesota for an undisclosed fee. Again, a pretty big loss for them there. But I think the reason why I can't put Tranmere any higher, despite them having a pretty decent squad, some good players already at the club like Jordan Turnbull, Tom Davies, in my opinion, going forward, Harvey Saunders and Kane Hemmings as well. They've got a good squad, but Ian Dawes is going to hold them back for me. I'm not a fan of their manager whatsoever, and I can't put Tranmere Rovers any higher than 12th position, in my opinion. In at 11th place then, and one of the teams who are really making a proper attempt to get into the playoffs this season, but I just can't quite see it as of right now, in my opinion, is Doncaster Rovers. Now, they brought back Grant McCann. I think that's a very good appointment as manager. They brought in some really good players as well. Joe Ironside, I'm a big fan of. Deji Satano's come in as well. I'm a big fan of him, to be honest, from what I've seen of him in pre-season. He looks very good. Jamie Sterry's come in from Hartlepool. Richard Wood had some experience as well in at the back. They've also brought in Rory Watson on a 1-month deal, which is a pretty interesting signing. But they've still got a large majority, a big core for them there, who massively underperformed last season. I know it was under Danny Schofield and Gary McSheffrey, who are not real managers, in my opinion. You know, they're two frauds, to be honest, with how poor they were and how poorly they did with this Doncaster Rovers squad. But I think there is still a soft underbelly there at Doncaster Rovers. We saw it in the first game of the season against Harrogate Town, and I can't see for that reason a reason why I would put them any higher than 11th place as of right now. But I think maybe next season they could potentially challenge for that top 7, maybe even top 3. But as of right now, I'm going to go with Doncaster Rovers to finish in 11th. In at 10th place then, I have gone with Barrow AFC. Now, let's start out with their outs, because there has been some pretty significant outs with Barrow. Patrick Brough going to Northampton, Josh Gordon going to Burton, Josh Kay going to Fylde. They are 3 significant losses to this Barrow side, but they've recruited pretty well, in my opinion. They brought in Dean Campbell on a free transfer from Aberdeen. David Worrell and Jamie Proctor come in on 2 free transfers from Port Vale. They provide some good experience in there. The rest of their recruitment is, I wouldn't say I really know too much about. I'm not really a fan of Emil Aqua from his time at Southend. He's come in on a undisclosed fee from Maidenhead, and I like Pete Wild as a manager. I think he's a very, very good manager. I think he gets the best out of players. If they can get Ben Whitfield fit and firing again like what he was at the first half of last season, I certainly think they could have a good season. They've got a good core there with players like Niall Canavan, George Ray, Robbie Gotts is a good central midfield option at this level. Elliot Newby in there as well. Wait, did it not say Elliot Newby was at Colchester earlier? I'm not really too sure what's going on here with transfer markets. Something's clearly not accurate here, but I can't say Barrow will really have a chance of making it into that top 7 as of right now. I might be wrong. Pete Wild might do wonders with that squad, but as of right now, I'm going to put Barrow AFC to finish in 10th. In at 9th position then, I have gone with Grimsby Town. Now, I really wanted to put Grimsby in the playoffs, but I'm just not seeing a natural goal scoring at number 9 in their squad as of right now. They've brought in Danny Rose, Rakeel Pike and Donovan Wilson, and they're 3 good options at this level, but none of them are going to score 20 goals, in my opinion. Now, they've added some good quality in the wide areas. Charles Vernham's come in for an undisclosed fee from Lincoln City. Aboita's come in on a free transfer from my team, Bradford City, as well, after he had a torrid 2 years with us, to be honest. Really wasted 2 years of his career, just spent the large majority of it injured or when he was fit. Didn't really perform. He had a 2 or 3 game period around Christmas time last year where he did alright for, he scored a couple of goals, but apart from that, just very, very injury prone and inconsistent, very greedy with the ball as well. Arthur Ganoa's come in on a free transfer from Morecambe. I like that signing. Harvey Rogers as well coming in from Accrington. Again, I do quite like that signing, but as of right now, I just don't think they quite have enough to get over the line and get into that top 7. But I think if they get a striker in, a goal scoring striker who's going to get them 20 goals, which might be hard to find, but if they get someone like a Luke Armstrong, I certainly think Grimsby could have a real chance of getting into that top 7 this season. As of right now, I'm going with a 9th place finish. In at 8th place then, I have gone with my team Bradford City. Now, when I originally did the table, I put my team Bradford in first, and I put us in 11th, but I look at some of the teams that I've put just below Bradford, and I think, yeah, we are slightly better than them, in my opinion. Now, we've for some reason changed what worked so well for us last season, which defensively we were so strong, we just needed to score more goals. For some reason we've changed our defence for the large majority and not really touched our attack, which I'm not really too sure why we've done that. We've switched formation from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-5-2 and it's not really worked so far. We look really sluggish on the ball. We don't really have the players to suit that. We're playing full-backs at wing-back. It seems pretty much of square pegs in round holes as of right now. Ash Taylor is an absolutely shocking signing. Alex Patterson's looked very good, was very impressive on Tuesday night. Tyler Smith's been pretty injured throughout pre-season and the start of the season so far. Clark Adore was pretty poor in pre-season but has looked very good so far since the season has started. Kevin McDonald has not kicked a ball yet for Bradford City. Daniel Ugoke was sent off on debut. So our signings have all been not the greatest so far, apart from Patterson and Clark Adore. We let go of a number of players as well when their contract expired at the end of last season. We've sold Matty Folds, we've loaned out Jake Young, and I'm just not as confident about this season as what I was last year. I think last year was our real chance of getting out of the league. The league is much stronger this season, and I don't think our squad is that much stronger. We've obviously lost Scott Banks and Romany Critchlow with their loans expiring. Tyreek Wright, we lost him in January, and we have had some real significant losses to us. I think on paper, our squad is weaker, unfortunately, than what it was last season. Now, the strong rumours as of right now, we could be signing John Kiami Gordon on loan from Palace. I think that would be a good option up front, but doesn't really score goals, and we need goals. If Andy Cook doesn't hit the heights of 31 goals like what he did last season, I certainly think we could really struggle this season. But as of right now, I am going to unfortunately have to go with an 8th place finish. I'm not so sure if Mike Hughes will be here come the end of the season. Our first 2 performances in the league and the Carabao Cup haven't exactly lit the world on fire. We're creating chances, but again, it's the same as last season. We're just not converting them. We've not got enough players in there who are going to score enough goals for us this season. And unfortunately, like what I say, I just can't see us making into that top 7 this season. I think we'll just miss out in 8th position. In at 7th position then, and claiming that final playoff spot, I am going to go with Salford City. Now again, I didn't actually originally have them in the playoffs, but I look at some of the teams who are in and around it, and I think Salford are much better than them. They're another year into this Neil Wood project. As of right now, they've still kept hold of Elliot Watt. He was massive for them last season. Matt Smith is going to score goals at this level. Their recruitment so far has been pretty good. They brought back Alex Cairns on a permanent basis. Luke Garbutt's come in to replace Ibu Toure, who is a significant loss, but Garbutt is not a bad option. Curtis Tilt has come in as well in the centre of defence, and I think they have recruited very well, to be honest, but I think there are a couple players away from really challenging. They obviously got back Conor McElhaney on a new contract. Callum Morton hasn't really hit the heights since his loan spell with Fleetwood a couple seasons ago. Matthew Lund as well signed a new deal with the football club, but if they keep hold of Elliot Watt, I have more than enough confidence that Salford City will make it into the top 7 this season, and they will have to settle for another playoff spot in 7th place. In at 6th position then, I have gone with a team like Gillingham. Yes, I have them finishing above Bradford City this season. Obviously, they brought in Johnny Williams. We all know what the transfer saga was like with him a number of weeks, if not months ago now. He obviously decided to leave Bradford City after a medical was agreed. We paid for him to stay in a hotel. He was planning on moving up into Bradford, and then right at the last minute he did a U-turn and went and signed for Gillingham, which obviously caused a lot of controversy, but I think we're all over that now, and I think Gillingham will finish above us this season, in my opinion. They've also brought in Scott Malone and Max Clark, 2 left-backs from Millwall and Stevenage, respectively. They brought back Connor Masterson as well from QPR on a free transfer. I think it's a very, very good signing. Shadrach Ogie on an undisclosed fee from Leyton Orient. I was really surprised to see Orient let him go, because I think that's an absolutely incredible sign. I'm not really so sure he suits the Neil Harris style of play, but I think he's an incredible centre-half for this level, and he's left-footed, which I'm a big fan of. Ashley Addison as well comes in from Crawley Town. It's not quite the Alfie May that they thought they were getting at one point, but he is still a decent option at this level, and that goes along with the amount of brilliant players they brought in January. Ollie Hawkins, Tom Nichols, you've also got George Lapsley in there, Tim DeYang, very good player at this level, Max Amer as well. They've got a very, very good squad, not to mention Glenn Morris as well, the 39-year-old goalkeeper, very, very good goalkeeper at this level. I think Gillingham will get into the playoffs this season, but I can't see them getting any higher than 6th place as of right now. In at 5th position then, I have gone with MK Dons. Now, before the transfer window, I was very concerned about MK Dons. I actually predicted that their manager would be sacked during this season, but some of their signings have been very, very impressive in my opinion. MJ Williams at a undisclosed fee from Bolton Wanderers. I think that's a very, very good signing in my opinion. Cameron Norman comes in on a free transfer from Newport County. Very good signing. Ash Hunter as well comes in from Morecambe. If he can rekindle his form from a couple seasons ago, I think that's a very, very good signing. Tommy Smith, I wouldn't say he's an overly impressive sign. I think he's a little bit more cover rather than to be a star. Alex Gilby as well has done well with MK Dons previously. Craig McGillivray has proved that he was one of the best goalkeepers in League One with Portsmouth, and again I think that he's a very, very good signing. I'm a big fan of their recruitment. Obviously they've kept hold of Mawaisa and Jonathan Lecco as well, especially Mawaisa. If they keep him fit and firing this season, I think he'll be one of the best players in the league in my opinion. Connor Grant, Ethan Robson as well. In the midfield, Dean Lewington, that's still with the football club. And while a lot of people might not like MK Dons, I personally think they will finish in 5th place this season. Now, if you've been watching the channel over the last couple of weeks, you probably all already know what my top 4 is. But in at 4th place, I have got Wrexham AFC. Not really much needs to be said about Wrexham. They brought in James McLean from Wigan Athletic for a fee to be believed around that £298,000 mark. Will Boylers come in as well on an undisclosed fee from Huddersfield Town. 2 very, very good signings. They didn't really need to touch their squad all too much because he's very good from last season. Obviously, they had an opening day defeat where they conceded 5 goals at home, which wasn't the way they were looking to start life in League 2. Paul Mullin's going to be out for a number of weeks with a punctured lung, but their squad is just absolutely incredible. You know, you just look through the list on their squad and it's a League 1 standard squad at absolute minimum. Is Phil Parkinson the man to take them forward? I'm not so sure. I think at some point he will need to move on, but as of right now, I think Wrexham will be able to make it into the playoffs this season, and I do personally think they will finish in 4th. In 3rd spot on clinching what would be the final automatic promotion spot, I have gone with Mansfield Town. Now, the recruitment this summer has been very, very good. They're trying to bring down the average age of their squad, and I think they've more than done that. Yes, they've brought in some experience like Aidan Flint, which is an unreal signing at League 2 level. They've brought him in because of his location. George Williams as well being 30 on a 1-year deal, but Bailey Cargill from Forest Green, Aaron Lewis from Newport County, Callum McDonald from Bristol Rovers, Christy Pym from Peterborough, and Will Swan from Nottingham Forest under 21s. Absolutely incredible transfer window, not only to mention the quality that was already in their squad. I think this season is going to be a successful one for Nigel Clough's side. I think they'll finally get back up into League 1. They've been in League 2 for what feels like absolutely forever after that absolutely crazy final day a couple of seasons ago with MK Dons, where they just missed out on the automatic promotion spot and then they absolutely messed it up in the playoffs. But I think this season they'll finally get back into League 1. They'll finish in that top 3. Like I say, I'm a big fan of a lot of their players, and I think Mansfield will finish in 3rd spot in my opinion. In at 2nd position then, I have gone with last season's National League playoff winners in Notts County. Now, they brought in David McGoldrick from Derby County. Does anything else really need to be said? What an absolutely unbelievable signing that is. Scored goals for fun for Derby in League 1 last season. Derby wanted to keep hold of him. He wanted to return home to Notts County. I think that's a very, very good pickup in my opinion. Dan Crowley's coming from Morecambe as well. I like that signing. Aidan Stone obviously sent off on debut as Notts County. Lost 5-1 against Sutton United. But again, similar to Wrexham, they've had a very big warm welcome back to the AFL. Will Randall coming in from Sutton United. I think that's a very, very good signing. Jody Jones returned to the club on a permanent basis as well. Not to mention the fact they had Macaulay Langstaff, who scored 5,000 goals last season. Sedwin Scott is a good player at this level as well. You know, John Bostock, Matt Palmer. Defensively, they're very solid as well with Kyle Cameron and Aidan Baldwin, Connell Rawlinson as well. Some very, very good players at this level. I think Notts County will be able to achieve back-to-back promotions, and I think Notts County will finish in 2nd this season, in my opinion. And in at 1st place, then, the team who I believe will win the league this season is Stockport County. They've brought in Nick Powell from Stoke City, Ibu Torre from Salford City as well. I think they're 2 very, very good signings in my opinion. Now, they've brought in Billy Chadwick from Hull on a 1-year deal, then instantly loaned him out to Gateshead, so I'm not really too sure what's going on there. They have also brought in Louis Barry, who I'm not really a big fan of, to be honest. I don't think he's ever really proved anything in League 2. Now, he obviously scored that goal against Liverpool a couple of seasons ago, and I still think personally he is living off of that a little bit, but Stockport's squad is absolutely incredible. If I just list through a couple of their names: Fraser Horsfall, Kyle Noyle, Macaulay Salvam Hales, Will Collar, Callum Camps, Ryan Crosdale, Kill Wright, Anthony Sarcevic, Ryan Rydell, Connor Lemonhay-Evans, Miles Hippolyte, Kyle Wotton, Isaac Oloafe, Paddy Madden. You've got some unbelievable players in their squad. They've got a brilliant manager as well. He's completely forgotten what his name is. Dave Challoner, that's the one. And I think Stockport, it'll finally work for them this season. Obviously missed out on through the playoffs last season on penalties in the final against Carlisle United. And I think this season they'll be able to get over the line, get back into League 1. I think Stockport County will win the league this season, in my opinion. And there we have it then, something a little bit different this season. I know we've been putting a different type of graphic on the screen rather than the league table next to me. Here is the league table for those who are interested as well. Obviously some pretty pretty controversial predictions in there, and I'm sure you will disagree, so get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. We will have my League One, Championship and Premier League predictions coming up very soon as well. They'll all be out before the end of August. I'm going to leave it there though for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 200 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know where do you think your team will finish, who do you think will be promoted, who do you think will be relegated, and all that sort of stuff. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Peace.